All right, guys, welcome back. And in today's video, I am going to be interviewing one of my good friends and a client of mine, and somebody that has had incredible results with the formula program. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear this story. I know you guys are going to love this one. Hi, Mom. All right, so Scott, bro, welcome to the call, and I'm excited, man, to have you on.
Yes, thanks for having me on.
For sure, bro. So, can you briefly describe yourself, where you're from, what you do, and who you are?
Yeah, my name's Scott. I'm from Nebraska in the United States, right in the middle. I am a business owner. I own a construction and remodeling company, and also a soccer coach. And I'm also a dad to three daughters.
That's amazing, man. And I know how busy you are and how much you have going on. And we're going to get to that as we get towards the end of the conversation. I want you to kind of talk about where you are now and everything you have going on business wise and all of that. But dude, can you just share, where you were before we started working together? Like what was going on in your life, struggles you were having? I know you had some, personal stuff, business stuff, just a lot going on. Where were you before we started working together?
Yeah, I was kind of in a low spot mentally. I went through some life changes, a move. I went through a divorce. My business was okay, but it was busy, um, and I was trying to juggle all these changes, and I was really overwhelmed, um, and just kind of at a crossroads where like, what do I do? Do I start something different? Do I keep rolling with what I got? My mental kind of going through some of those life changes and stuff. My mental game was low. I would say my confidence was pretty low. My energy level was low, and that was just kind of reflecting like my business. We were busy, but it was just low energy. It was no real growth, a lot of just maintaining and kind of going through the motions, I would say.
Yeah, I remember those conversations and I remember where you were back then and like you said, feeling overwhelmed, low energy. What was like your main challenge that you were facing, or what do you feel like was holding you back when you were in that place from breaking through or being able to like solve those problems? Like what were the main challenges that you were facing?
Looking back now, I think it was, a lot of my mentality. I kind of started turning into like this victim mentality, kind of where like, oh, this happened to me, and oh, this is bad luck. And I was trying to stay positive, but I think it was a lot of negative thinking. And, when you're low on energy and your mental focus is low, it's just by 3 in the afternoon, you're just like done. And next day kind of thing, you just go through those motions. And um, looking back now when I was in that situation, I just was like, oh, I'm going through some bad luck. I got to hang in. I got to keep, but it was kind of my mindset. Now looking back, it's easy to be like, man, my mind was all mixed up. I wasn't eating very well at all. Being in construction and always on the go, it's gas station food, it's fast food. Um, so it's kind of a mixture of both, like the mental, kind of thinking everything's happening to me, and then a mixture of not eating well, not going to the right places, just kind of in a rut.
Did you feel like the only way to achieve like success was just to, push through, or like to have just maybe have more willpower, or like you said, like hopefully your luck turned? Like, did you just kind of, was that what you were feeling like at the time before we started working together? Like you just kind of have to ride it out?
I the strong part of me kind of thought that like, oh, just keep going. But then I did have a lot of, um, should I just switch it all up? Is this a good time to close my business? Should I go get a job? Thank God I didn't do that. But I mean, I was just, there's all sorts of different thoughts going through my head. But most of it's like, hey, just hang in there. This is you're in a little down spot. Stay positive. But I didn't really know like how to stay positive either because I kind of around the same people every day, kind of in the same work thing every day. And I'm like, I need to be positive, but who do I talk to? Where do I go? What do I do?
I
So,
know what that's like because I used to work in construction when I was younger, and the environment itself is not a super positive environment, right? And I can totally relate to that. But bro, let's talk about your results. Like we did 3 months together, where we were one-on-one on phone calls every week. And you went all in. Like you followed everything to a T. Like you went all in on the food, you were training, I mean your transformation photos are incredible. But like tell me about what it was like actually going through the program, and the maybe something that surprised you, or what was like the thing that stood out for you the most?
well, I think, because I am a pretty busy guy and I have three daughters from being 17 to 7 years old to 4 years old, and they're involved in sports and school and, you know, um, but I would say the thing that got me was every I can't like you said, I went all in. I kind of comboed everything together. And I started using 15 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes here, lunchtime here, just throughout the day. And it really started helping. And like after the first couple weeks, once I kind of got used to the diet and used to what I needed to do, um, it was nice how like it didn't take a lot of time. One of the things that we talked about was the gratitude, um, being thankful for things. And that is probably one of the most things that really changed because you kind of start speaking these things into existence and they start happening. But, I'd wake up and I would not get on my phone right away. I would wake up and I would start drinking my water. I would listen to positive talk while I was doing push ups. So I kind of started
Yeah.
comboing, well, I need to do some positive talk. I need to drink my water and I need to get, sometimes I only had 25 to 35 minutes to work out.
Mhm.
Also, I couldn't go to the gym for an hour and a half. Sometimes I only had 30 minutes. So by comboing some of the water, the push-ups, the positive mindset, and the gratitude, I would do all that pretty early in the morning when I woke up and kind of start my day in the right direction. And it just kind of started compounding um, from there, like on just the positive thoughts and the positive things instead of thinking, well, this is how it goes. And I'm stressed because I'm busy with work, but I'm so stressed. Everybody's like, well, busy's good. And I'd be like, not really. To now, it's like I have an energy level where it's like we're busier than we've ever been right now. And like, I'm just not that stressed. I'm kind of like a lot more organized to where I can kind of move through the day and it's like a lot smoother where I can take on more responsibility or more work and still balance my family, still balance my food and get a good workout in to stay healthy.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, personally, I wasn't surprised by your results because I knew how committed you were. And it's like the busier that you are in your business or your family or whatever, right, in life, the higher of a level that you're playing at, or that you're already like, if you go from like a dead stop, right, to then trying to go, from a dead stop to running full speed, that's difficult. But you were already running fast. It was just like you felt stuck in all these, little areas where it was like, okay, how am I going to break through here or whatever? And I wasn't surprised, but I mean, when you see like, I mean, you're now, buying multiple properties, it sounds like you're flipping and you're working on at a time. You're coaching soccer again, crushing that. Like I'm seeing the food you're making. You're like your girl's private chef, like all these different things, right? Got your transformation physically has been crazy. Like, were you surprised by any of your results, or like what surprised you the most about like where you are now?
I really was surprised at how things kind of started going in the right direction. And I mean, still stuff happens, obstacles come up every day, but like those things are just little bumps now. It's just kind of, so I was a little surprised at first. And I mean, before I got into your program, I was like, I just don't have like a lot of time. And I kind of knew like, well, if I would just adjust my diet a little bit, but I didn't know what those adjustments were. And so I almost overwhelmed myself with how much I thought I would have to do to get out of this slump. I've always played sports and been athletic, and then I wasn't, and I was like, oh, I don't have time, I don't have time. And so I was kind of surprised that with just little cutouts of time throughout the day, but doing the right stuff with the cutout of time, I was really surprised at like the results I did get in 90 days. And now it's been, I don't know how many, months have gone by now, but like maintaining that, it just is like an everyday natural thing that just happens now. But yeah, like you said, I mean, we are doing maybe one, maybe two houses a year, plus a bunch of projects in there, but like buying and fixing and selling real estate. And, right now we currently have three at the same time going. We just got rid of one. And some of my excuses of why I wouldn't do that, with being grateful and positive thinking, those reasons, so to speak, of why I couldn't do certain things just work themselves out, because I started being like, well, I can do that, I can do that, and then it's worked out.
I feel like your level of self-belief has gone up, and your level of self-confidence, like what you feel like you can actually do or what you can take on, and the level that you can play at has increased, right? And I I guess, if you were to if there was somebody that is watching this that's on the fence about maybe jumping in and doing the program, what would you say to them?
The program for me was a complete game changer and life changer. Um, I would think, if you can actually think it and you can kind of see it in your head, maybe you don't even know how to speak some of your goals, but you can see, then it is possible. It's definitely possible. If your mind can like think that, there is a way to get there. And I just am a true believer in that. And I mean, the program, the accountability, the plan that you gave me that I have, that I physically can look at forever,
Mhm.
um, it's just really, really helped. And like I said, it's been a life changer, and it's not that hard once you get started. It's just kicking it in and just doing it, because it really does like help all aspects of your life.
I love that, bro. I guess would you say that you feel like because you've developed the habits and that you've made these things positive habits in your life, that it's become almost effortless to stay on track now that you've locked in these things?
Oh, it has. And it's actually like kind of made things easier. Like having a diet, like now when I go to the grocery store, it's like I'm in and out because I know exactly what
Yeah,
I'm getting, exactly what
yeah.
I'm eating. It's good stuff. I'm in and out. When I go to the gym, it's like I'm in and out because I know exactly what I'm doing, you know, and even the days like, and when I say go to the gym, like some days I'm just in my living room and I'm doing what I need to do there
Yeah,
for
totally.
15, 20 minutes. And, you know, I've had people um, come up to me and they're like, bro, how old are you? And I don't look that old, but I'm 40 years old. So, which is still very, very young. But I've had people come up and they're like, yeah, how old are you? And I tell them, they're like, geez, like, I like how you get after it in the gym. You kind of show up, you kind of get going, and then you're out of here. I'm like, well, I got to go. You know, I got other stuff to do. So,
I love that. Yeah, it's true, man. It's like I in the program I call it like you get into a rhythm, and that rhythm you're when you start the program or when you wherever, if you're watching this right now, right? Like you might be you feeling like you're kind of on a slower pace than you want to be, or a rhythm, your rhythm isn't maybe quite as fast. When you get everything in alignment and you get to a faster rhythm, what happens is your frequency goes up, your rhythm increases, but then it also does start to feel like it almost becomes easier and effortless because it doesn't take as long to get stuff done. And I love how you brought that up, because one thing you said when we first started working together is you said you feel like you had to invest to start the program, right? Like you paid money for this coaching, but you said, I feel like this is saving me money because I'm not spending money on these things that anymore that I was before that were bad for me or that were dragging me down. And now you're saying it's saving you time. So would you say you feel like it saved you money and time overall?
oh, yeah, it saved me lots of money in my lifestyle habits. I didn't have the best lifestyle, but even at the grocery store, I mean, I'm eating better, but it's like all the sugar, all the pop, all that stuff that actually cost more at the store too. And then you're eating healthy. But you know, I was going out, you know, going out to bars, drinking, all that stuff. And I'm a very sociable person, so I still go to social events and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
man, I was spending money, and as I've learned, alcohol is a depressant. So it's like when you're kind of going through some life changes and you think life is happening to you, and then you're pouring this depressant on it one, two, three times a week. Um, it's no wonder you're kind of sluggish and getting up and spend a little more than you wanted to the night before or whatever. Um, and there's a lot of like the programs out there, but nothing kind of mixes everything that I got together. You know, I got the food, the workout, the mental, a lot of physical stuff that is all something I do every single day now. And like you said, your frequency goes up, and it's like you can handle more, but the stuff you were handling that was overwhelming, all of a sudden just is not as overwhelming. It's doable, and it gets better and better. And that was a big thing for me.
Yeah, bro. Well, I'm super proud of you, bro, for everything you've done. Really, I'm proud of you for the changes you've made. And I mean, as a dad, I know you've improved. Your business has improved. Your sounds like your net worth has gone up. You're doing great, man. So really, appreciate you being a client, but also just coming on and doing this call and being willing to share a little bit of your story, man. So, is there any final thoughts that you'd like to tell anybody that's watching this? Like, people, obviously this channel is for high performing men or high performing entrepreneurs or, parents, business owners, that just want to go to that next level, with their confidence, with their performance, with their health, but any final thoughts that you'd like to tell somebody watching this?
You know, one thing that kind of popped up is like we ourselves are kind of the biggest power or the biggest weapon or the best asset that we have is ourselves and our brain. And you know, we've heard it before, like you have to invest in yourself and make a better self than you are. And so stuff like this program, like it's an investment that you're going to get back many, many times. I mean, I've saved the money to get back, but just the awareness, the positive, the mindset, like, investing in yourself is going to help you invest in everything else, whether it's being a better father, being a better business owner. You have to first work on yourself to get what you want to get. So
100%, man. Well, thank you so much, bro, for being here. And guys, if you want to have a conversation, I call it a game plan call, but if you just want to, jump on a call and see if, I can help you with where you are and what your goals are and how I can help you get there, go ahead and just click the link in the description below the video, and you can book in a call in the calendar, and I'd be more than happy to hop on with you and have a conversation. So with that, Scotty, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in December. I know we're going to be hanging out down here in Panama at our event, so cannot wait for that. It's going to be
I'm
exciting.
excited.
And me too, man. And guys, thank you so much for watching this. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the next one.